What's up, guys? Pete Moriarty here. Great to be with you again. Welcome to petermoriarty.tv. Today we're covering the top mistakes that newbies make when they're working from home. And whew, I've got some good ones. We're going to take you through all of the things that you need to know if you have recently transitioned to work from home, or if maybe you're just already working from home and you want to get your work from home supercharged, or you want to look out for Peter's hot tips. This is a hot tips episode. You're going to love this. Okay, cool. So newbie mistake number one, and I'm going to have to bring up my actual notes here, is the social media check. Now, what I call this is Millennial Brain, right? So what happens is when you're procrastinating doing something, you go and do something else, right? And so, I really don't want to write this email. So what you do, you open the news or you open Facebook and you find something else to do that is not your work. And you progressively go through other distracting things that you can do instead of doing the work that you need to do. Now, I don't know if this is just me, frustrated creators who need to get creative work done, or if it's everyone, but I'm pretty sure it happens to anyone. And there's an app that I use, and I'm going to show you how that works. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. This is the Chrome web store. I should probably actually put the word Chrome in there. Chrome web store is where you go to get your apps for Chrome, and this is a Chrome plugin recommendation for you here. And so if you search for, this one's called Block Site, and you install the Block Site extension, this is going to help you with your ADD Millennial Brain. So what happens is, and this is their little icon up here, I'm going to go ahead and open it. You can add websites that you usually go to when you're wasting time. So for me, that's news sites and Facebook. That's about it. Usually if I've gone through those three websites, I'll then try and go back to what I'm doing. But I've got news sites and I've got Facebook. And so you just add those in there. And I think by default, it blocks adult websites as well. But you may be checking them out during the workday. I don't know. Don't know why. But hey, if it's your business, then it's your life. That's fine. No judgment. Okay, so it's going to block those sites when you switch it on, right? So I'm going to go ahead and switch it on. And then if I try and open Facebook, ta-da, pa-pow, doesn't let me access. Pretty cool, huh? And so what that blocker does is it basically stops the procrastination, right? Now, you can have it schedule. I think there's a pro version where you can synchronize it to your phone, cool things that you can do there. But blocking the websites lets you kind of have a little way of catching yourself. Now, what if you say, well, Pete, what about in my lunch hour? So if we go back to our Chrome web store, there is a cool little app called Kill Newsfeed. And when you install Kill the Newsfeed, that's the icon, so you know that you're getting the right one there. We go ahead and open up Facebook. Ta-da! Check that out. So we automatically have, and I don't know why I've got some stuff flashing there, we automatically have my newsfeed disappeared. It's gone. And so what that means is you can respond to comments, you can get your notifications, you can chat to people, but you don't have a news feed, so you are not able to do that endless scrolling, and that's going to help you heaps. So I've just gone through how to kill your Facebook news feed, and I've deleted the Facebook news feed. Now, I've actually been newsfeed clean for 5 years now, and it is freaking awesome. Not having to worry about the endless scrolling. It means that I missed out on some stuff, missed out on some wedding photo shoots, I don't know, other stuff. I don't really miss it, to be completely honest. What I've found is my most important friends I catch up with, and I actually get their updates over the phone. Because sometimes they'll say, hey, did you see that thing I put on Facebook? And I'll say, no. And then they get to tell me about it on the phone, and that's really nice. It's like the old way of connecting again, actually having conversations with humans. So that's my recommendation there. Okay, so our next one. We've gone through social media and ADD brain. The next one, this is a good one. Tasks, not chat. We need to switch to tasks, and we need to get rid of chat. Now, chat is very popular. Chat is very fun. Instant messaging is really, really cool for the chit-chat and for hassling someone when you need them right now. But is it actually productive to be interrupted by instant messages all day long? No, it is not. So if you're currently doing business on Facebook and you're getting smashed by messages in Messenger, I would recommend you cut that out and switch to a business page for your messages instead, because there's just no real easy way to delegate that unless you want to give your whole Facebook account to your team, which may be what you need to do. But if you're doing business and you're using something like Google Chat for all of your conversations, or you're using Slack, you're probably getting hammered with instant messages all day long. And that's a really, really terrible way of working. Now, I want to show you guys what I see here inside my Google Chat. You can see here we've got my team thread here, and every time someone does something cool and a customer gives a thumbs up, we can all celebrate, we can all look after each other. We've got like a daily thread where you can see here everyone's saying good morning when they check in for the morning, or if they're going for lunch or whatever. All of that stuff's there. Now, that's really useful, right? Having that there is really useful. But you don't want instant messages to interrupt your life. What you don't want is someone to message you and say, hey, is that project done yet? Hey, how are you going with that task? Hey, what's happening with that customer request? Because you will end up having so many chat notifications that it just gets completely overwhelming. And if you've been overwhelmed by this, let me know in the comments if you've suffered from overwhelm from instant messaging. Because instant messaging is basically the equivalent of someone busting in your door to your office and saying, hey, are you available right now? Hey, are you available right now? Hey, are you available right now? And that actually happens all day long. So you want to switch off the chat and reduce the chatter only to very, very specific rooms. Now, there's a couple of things that we use chat for. We use it for the daily check-ins. That one's important, so I can see whether or not someone's on lunch, if I need to give them a call or patch them into a client meeting, but I try not to interrupt people. The next one that's really important is the water cooler. And so the water cooler is where we post the day-to-day chit-chat stuff of whatever's happening inside the business, but mostly stuff that's outside the business, to be honest. So this is where the team will share games, they'll share memes, they'll share YouTube videos, they'll share interesting stuff that they find online. And this is basically all about off-topic chit-chat. Now, what I love about this is in the water cooler, you can actually switch off the notifications. And what that means is you won't be notified from the day-to-day chit-chat inside the water cooler. The water cooler is just for that, chit-chat, and then when you've got 5 minutes break and you want to go ahead and sit down and jump in and have a chit-chat with your team, that's what you use it for. But that's not my final point. That's not my final point. We want to get away from instant messaging. Where do we go? And where you need to go is into tasks. So tasks using Asana or Trello or Podio or whatever application you want to use is the way for you to get away from having everything in instant messaging chat. And you also want to get away from having everything in email. If you are sending internal emails between you and your team for tasks, cut it out. Using an effective shared task management system is what will help you and your team cut down on the is it done yet factor and just basically know what people are up to. We happen to use Asana, and what that gives us is a view of absolutely everything that's going on in the business. Now, I'm going to share an example with you. This is my content creation calendar here. And so in my content creation calendar, I can basically see all the different tasks that I'm working on. Here we go. We've got today's one here where I've got all the details on me about to go live. We've got all the subtasks, all the follow-ups and everything like that. We've got who it's assigned to. We've got due dates. All of these basically sit here inside Asana, and I can see everything that's going on in the business. Now, I can go have a look at what the executive team are up to. We've got all of our strategic initiatives and all of our tasks there. I can go up and see what the finance team are up to. We've got the sales team there. We've got customer loving tracking when we've got customers who need some extra love. Basically, every single project and every single task that we're doing all sits inside of Asana. And the best thing about Asana is it's shared with everyone. It's got a good mobile app as well if you're on the go. But what a task management system will allow you to do is take the urgent out of task management. If you're using chat for everything, everything is urgent. And when everything is urgent, nothing is urgent. So switching from chats to tasks is one of the biggest shifts. You want to make sure that you don't get stuck in the tasks. Now, you don't get stuck in the chats. Now, what many people are complaining about right now is having Zoom overwhelm, right? I think they're called Zoomies, which is when you've been on too many Zoom meetings. And that's because most businesses, number one, probably have too many meetings. But number two, if you're always scheduling meetings just to get work done with your team, that's not the most efficient way of working. Usually on a meeting, there's only one person talking at a time, and so quite often you've got 2 or 3 or 4 or 10 people twiddling their thumbs, right? And yeah, sure, you may be listening to the information, but information can be disseminated via text much faster than it can in a meeting. So I'm not really a fan of big, long meetings. Yes, there should be some critical meetings that are important, and we're going to cover more of those in upcoming videos on which ones you should and shouldn't be doing to be the most efficient. But if you can get more of your tasks into a task management system, you can dramatically reduce the number of meetings that you actually need inside the business. So less chats, less meetings, more tasks. We love Asana. It's free for up to 15 people. We are also now an Asana partner. And so if you are interested in getting access to Asana, then have a chat to us and our team will be able to help you out with that. Okay, so tip number 3 or 4, I'm not sure what we're up to next, is to switch off all of your notifications. I'm going to let that sink in. I'll wait. Switch off all of your notifications. Hello, Jeannie. Hello, Regina. Thank you for joining the live stream. I want you to imagine your attention span and your ability to manage more than one task at a time as a big jar of jelly beans. You've got one big jar of jelly beans, and that's your total attention span. Now, when you're driving along, I know we're not doing much driving right now, but just imagine you're driving along and you've got your phone sitting in the phone holder, right? And you get a notification pop up. It's an email. It's from that customer, right? You know that customer. It's from that customer. And maybe the subject line is in all capitals, or maybe it's the 5th email you've exchanged with that customer this week, and you go, oh, I'm driving, and now my attention is on the phone, right? Bang, open loop. That's a jelly bean out of your jar. And every time you have another open loop, that's another jelly bean coming out of your jar. And when you have too many jelly beans out of the jar, you end up in that ADD distracted mode where you're just not really on top of anything. And you kind of feel like you go through your day as a bit of a zombie, right? And I know because I've felt this before, where you're not really on top of everything and you know that you're not quite getting to everything. You want to be really careful with that. So if you switch off your notifications, you don't know that you got that shitty email from that painful customer. And those emails sit waiting for you in your inbox when you choose to access them. Now, this goes for your instant message notifications, goes for your email notifications, goes for your desktop notifications. I would probably leave calendar notifications on. I still use those, and guilty, I still use Asana notifications, but I could honestly probably do without them. You should be working through your tasks or your instant messages or your emails or anything else on your terms. So you can keep the jelly beans in the jar and you can keep to high value tasks. Okay, hope you like that one. Keep the jelly beans in the jar. Next one, coworking. If you're used to working in an office and you're working with your team members and you're all sitting alongside each other, you've got that normal kind of like day-to-day banter, right? The chit-chat, the hello, how you going, how was your weekend, all of that kind of stuff. And as you're working on maybe a complex project or a task and it's taking you a little bit of time, quite often it'll be useful to kind of have someone there just to, ping pong ideas off. Also to cut down on the loneliness as well. Some people are not really used to working completely alone and in isolation. The extroverts like me, I love talking to people. And so I enjoy being around people when I'm working. Now, when you're in a remote environment or you're working from home, you don't really have that. And you don't want to bother your spouse all day long, right? And so one of the things that you can do is a co-work session. And a co-work session is a long meeting. You schedule it for 2 to 4 hours and you jump on Google Meet or Zoom, careful of the security issues, but Google Meet preferably, and you have that long session with a team member, or it may be your manager, or it may be a colleague, or it may even be someone outside your company. I don't know if that's interesting to you. Great. What you do is you just do your own work while you're on the meeting with that person. Now, if you have to make a phone call, of course, you mute your microphone, you go do that, but you basically leave that open for hours at a time. And what that allows you to do is kind of replicate that in-office banter, chit-chat, doing your own thing, but kind of chatting, kind of working on things together. I do that often with my team member, Angel, who is our marketing manager. We spend a lot of time coordinating on projects together, and we will sometimes co-work for 5 or 6 hours just on one long meeting. And, you've got to do the basics like, hey, I've got to disappear for a toilet break now, see you in a bit, like all those kind of things that you would normally have in an office kind of happen. But that is a great way of making sure that you and your team stay connected. Now, I heard a great idea just today, and that was to actually have a water cooler meeting scheduled for the whole day. Water cooler meeting scheduled for the whole day. And you just leave that open. And anyone who wants to chit-chat with anyone in the company, and we've got a pretty big team, so I think this would work well, anyone can just jump into the water cooler and have a bit of a chit-chat when you've got 5 minutes break, or if you want to co-work with someone who you don't normally co-work with, just to say hello, that is a cool idea there. And that was from, I believe, Melissa from community.ai. I think her website is, but you can, I'll drop a link to her details below. Super cool on workplace productivity. Okay, so after you've got all the worky stuff done, I want to cover kind of some of the more stuff at home. I now want to talk about like you being healthy at home, you actually being comfortable and healthy at home, and actually like not killing your spouse and not falling off the wagon yourself. Because, you know, for anyone who's been working at home the last month, you may have some loneliness creeping in. You probably had a few shitty days now and again. It happens. I know that. And for some of you, you may have even, you know, had some of these bad habits in place for a while as you've been working at home, and you're starting to get into that kind of like anxiety, cabin fevery type mode of like everything is blended into one. Everything is now work and home, and it's all blended into one. Now, I know that not everyone has the luxury of having like, you know, an extra bedroom or two to set up an office in, right? My studio here is shared with my entertainment room. And so I understand that, you know, for some of you, you may even be working from the kitchen bench. Totally get that, understand it. One of the most important things that you can do is try to have some division between your work life and your home life. So what are some of the things you can do to do that? Well, let's create division. One of the things I love to do is at the end of my workday, I'll actually change my t-shirt. I'll change my clothes. And that's like a little mental shift, getting out of work mode and getting into home mode, right? And I'll put something non-worky on, I'll put something really homey on and really comfortable, or maybe I'll just take my clothes off. We all do that sometimes. And that's my way of kind of like doing a bit of a mental shift. The other great one is a 5-minute walk. I don't care if you're not a walker. I was not a walker for the first 27 years of my life. I've recently become a walker. But I know that not everyone's interested in exercise, and I totally get it. If you're not an exercise person, you're not going to magically start doing it because Pete said. But if you literally go outside your front door and stand outside for 5 minutes, I don't care if you like walk around the block or even just stand there. You can do nothing. You can sit on Facebook just standing outside. Just that shift, a little bit of fresh air is enough to give you that little bit of a shift. So I'd really recommend that at the end of the day. Another thing that's really good is that usually if you're commuting, you'll have a bit of space between your workplace and your home space to kind of like decompress and let the thoughts of the day kind of unwind. One of the tricks that has been really useful for me over many, many years of remote work is to have a half-hour debrief, and it's great if you've got a partner to do it with. You can do it with yourself or your pet if you have to, if you're working from home solo at the moment. Have that debrief, have a half-an-hour debrief at the end of the workday, and that kind of signifies the chit-chat, or, you know, jumping on the train or the bus, or, you know, the drive home, listening to a podcast or whatever, and just decompress from the day before you jump down your partner's throat about whose turn it is to cook dinner or unstack the dishwasher or wash the clothes or anything like that. So have that little state change, have like a post-work debrief. That one works really, really nicely. So we've done the get outside. The next one is starting and finishing your day right. And this one's really critical. I think this is just, you know, good for us as humans, making sure that you are, you know, well adjusted in your home work balance and just really your relationship with technology. That's another big one. We're all working at home and we're like stuck in front of our computer screens for a long time. And sometimes when you finish work, you might go and watch TV, and like there's no shame with that. That's fine. But you don't want to be spending like 18 or 20 hours a day on or in front of devices. It's not healthy for you, but also you're gonna crash and burn, and you're gonna burn out pretty quickly. I've done it multiple times. I know that it comes. It's just a matter of time. So how can we fix this? Well, one of my most important rules for a long time that I learned from my customer, actually, Mr. Andrew May, who wrote an amazing book called Flip the Switch on personal productivity and not completely killing yourself, is to take your phone and take it out of the bedroom. No phones in the bedroom, no technology in the bedroom. Make that a rule, make it a hard rule, no technology in the bedroom. I don't even have an alarm clock, but that's because I'm worried about radioactive magnetic energy. But if you take your phone out of the bedroom and like literally put your charger on the kitchen bench, or in, I don't know, if you've got a second room or something, put your phone somewhere else on charge that is not in the bedroom. Now, what if you're using it as an alarm clock? Well, get a different alarm clock. Go to Kmart and get a $5 alarm clock if they're still solvent, and go and grab that and put that in your bedroom so that you no longer are chained to your device at the start of the day, at the end of the day. Because what do? We wake up, we roll over, we grab our phone, and that is extremely unhealthy. But what it does, I mean, I think the first thing you should touch in the morning is your partner or yourself, not your phone. I think it's a bit crazy that people, go straight for Facebook. But what it's doing is it's training your mind to seek that dopamine fix from the moment you open your eyes. And that's so unhealthy. So if you can get rid of your phone, get rid of all the devices out of your room, you're probably going to have a better intimate life with your partner. But also, it just means that you don't have that energy in the space where you actually need to have good quality sleep. Now, you might say, oh, well, Peter, I run a very, very important business, and it's just so damn important that I'm available. It might be 3 o'clock in the morning and someone might need to call me. I run an IT business, and I can tell you there are ways of making sure that you can be contacted if it's urgent. Go and buy an old school telephone and get a landline or a VoIP phone, or get dial pad with our team and get a dial pad internet desk phone that can sit somewhere, that can be your red phone, right? Like the president's phone. So if someone calls you, that will ring, and then okay, someone needs to call me. But for your phone, use the do not disturb feature. Android's got it, iOS has got it. Switch that to do not disturb so that no calls, no messages, nothing else can come through. That's going to be really helpful for you. Okay. And I think that's just about it. Oh, and ending your day right. That's the last one that I wanted to cover off there. I know everyone says it, but if you can try and get even half an hour is perfect, but if you can get even half an hour of no screen time, no technology time before you go to bed, even if you do a 10-minute, meditation or burn some sage or something like that, just to chill just for a tiny bit before you actually go to bed, then that's going to give you wonderfully better sleep. It's going to help your eyes, and it's going to help all kinds of other things in your body. Okay, so I'm going to answer some questions now. If you have just joined us, if you're on the live stream, then please go ahead and drop your questions below. I'd like to know what's your number one challenge right now working at home. I'm going to answer these for you. I'm going to take some Q&A, and then I'm going to tell you how you can get access to even more good stuff from our team on making sure you and your team are working productively at home. But I'm going to finish up here, guys. Thank you so much for joining. This is the top mistakes that newbies make when they are working from home. If you didn't catch the start of this broadcast, just wait for it to finish. Hit the rewind button and you can go back and watch it all again. But I want to tell you about the playbook that we have available. If you are not yet an IT Genius customer, you need to get in touch with our team and get access to this playbook. It's absolutely amazing. Inside our community, which is what all of our support customers get, and this is free, by the way. We're an IT support business. Our core business is support. We just happen to do this as a freebie for our customers who happen to be using G Suite. You can see here our playbook is now in week 4. This week it's all about healthy at home. And we are showing you how to build, grow, and be successful in running a remote team. Now, we've been running a remote team for over 6 years now. We've been completely remote. Business is 11 years old. Last 6 years we've been completely remote. And so all of our 35 employees all work from home. And what that means is that we've had all of the challenges over many years of getting our team working successfully from home, and we're sharing all of our secrets to our customers. So if you're interested in that, there's a link below to the Remote Work Playbook. If you go to the Remote Work Playbook, then you'll have heaps of information on that, and you're going to get access to this, which has all of the information on this. So we're doing a deep dive every week. I'm doing a 1-hour video every single week. And we're taking you guys through everything you need to know, setting up the technology, setting up your team, managing and making sure your team are healthy at home, managing and making sure you're healthy at home. We're doing lots of teaser videos, so if you're liking the content that's on the channel, then you're going to love what is in the playbook, because we just go an open book. And when we went through the hiring and scaling teams in the Philippines session, if that's something that you're interested in, we shared the job ads that we use, we share the interview questions that we used, we share the hiring framework, so you can literally just cut and paste all of that and go ahead and build out your own team, which we've been able to do successfully. So if you're on Team Live, thank you so much for joining. Great to have you here. If you're on Team Replay and you're watching this later, go ahead and drop me a comment and let me know what was the most useful thing that you learnt in everything that I've shared today, and we will see you guys in the next one. We've got more lives coming up this week. If you're interested in getting access to the playbook, jump on the link below and we will be in touch. And if you're interested in chatting to our team, if you need any help with G Suite or the Google World or connecting cloud apps, or you just want some advice on how you can set your team up to work effectively remotely, we're really good at all of those things. We'll be really happy to help out. Drop us a PM, send us a message, slide into our DMs, and we will see you guys soon. Okay, till next time. Take care. Cheers.